Hello everyone and welcome back to the Synergy Sanctum. My name is Justin. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here at the Synergy Sanctum, we specialize in all things related to Magic the Gathering with a specific focus on deck building. So I aim to show you very quick deck techs that'll show you all of the cards in the deck and how they work together to ultimately achieve the goals of that deck. If you're not already, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. And we also have a sister channel now, so head on over to Commander Coliseum and check out their content as well. And for today's deck tech, we have Kibo, Uktabi Prince, an EDH focus build with Ape and Monkey Tribal here, as well as some artifact synergies. So Kibo was only printed in a Jumpstart set a few years back, and he has a pretty interesting ability. So he's a Gruul commander, and he can tap to give everybody a banana. And a banana can be either red or green mana, and you gain 2 life. But we are here for his second ability that says whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you can put a +1 counter on each creature you control. That's an ape or a monkey. So we're going to have a ton of apes and monkeys in the deck, and then they're going to be getting +1 counters every time an artifact goes away, and the banana is there to entice our opponents to use it, but we don't necessarily need them to because we have ways of blowing up their artifacts. And then also Kibo says whenever he attacks, they are forced to sacrifice an artifact. So regardless of whether they want to, he's going to force them to as well. So TCG market value here is $122 to $145. We're not running things like Mycosith Lattice, even though that card would probably be broken in this deck with artifact removal, because it'd turn all of your opponent's stuff into artifacts and then you can blow it all up. Land count is a little low at 33 lands, with 24 of those being basics between mountains and forest, and 9 of those being non-basics. So to start us off today, we got a barrel of monkeys here. So all of the monkeys and apes that are decent in Magic are in this deck. So we're running Tree Monkey. Tree Monkey can block creatures with flying. Raging Gorilla, if he blocks or becomes blocked, he gets a little bigger. Uktabi Orangutan has the ability to destroy an artifact when it comes in, so some added synergy there. Ravenous Baboons. Gorilla Shaman also can destroy a non-creature artifact. Gorilla Warrior, Gorilla Chieftain, Barbary Apes, and Ancient Silverback as well for even more monkeys. And then it's getting a little bananas. We got even more monkeys here. So Simian Spirit Guide, you can get rid of him for red mana, or he can just come out and be a big monkey. Grun the Lonely King gets bigger if he was kicked, but we're not really worried about that because Kibo will give him counters. Scrounging Bandar. Kogla has the ability to fight things when he comes in, and then he destroys artifacts when he attacks, so more synergy there. Yavimaya Steel Crusher can destroy artifacts, and then Kurd Chieftain can boost other creatures and give them trample. Wily Bandar can have Indestructible. Towering Gibbon is equal to the greatest mana value of creatures you control, but again, he's going to get bigger because of Kibo. And then Silverback Elder has some more destroy artifact synergy on him as well. Whenever you're casting a creature, you can do that. So lots of synergy with the monkeys here and the apes helping out Kibo and making this triggered ability even bigger so that you can get additional counters on them. And then here's those artifact benefits I was kind of talking through. So ways, other benefits besides just the counters from Kibo. So starting with Viridian Revel, when an artifact is put into an opponent's graveyard, you get to draw. Fanggrain Marauder is letting you gain 5 life when they're in the graveyard, so really solid. Reckless Fireweaver and Ingenious Artillerist are going to ping people every time that you're making a banana. Echoing Ruin, you can target the bananas that you've made and destroy all of them, so really, really solid here. And if they sack them in response, it's not a big deal because our goal is to get rid of them. Same with Brotherhood's End, destroy artifacts 3 or less. Genesis Chambers, making mirrors when the creatures enter. Sardian Avenger says whenever an artifact an opponent controls is put into the graveyard, this is dealing damage to that player. And then Dire Strain Rampage lets you destroy one, as well as has flashback. And then Klaus Will is here because you can pay into the X and destroy X artifacts, so kind of mass artifact removal here. And then more artifact synergy, so Wave of Vitriol says that each player has to sack them and then go get basic lands for everything that was sacked, if it was a non-basic land. Vandal Blast can blow them all up for its overload cost. Marching Duotrone is making treasures when it attacks. Everybody gets a treasure, so there's kind of benefit to leaving him out there. Jolene is giving treasures as well. Bucknard's Everfull Purse says you roll a dice and you get treasures, then it goes to someone else. Again, we don't care. Everybody can have artifacts. By Force is destroying them as long as you pay into X. And then Descent into Avernus says that at your upkeep, you put 2 descent counters on them. Then everybody's getting treasures and it's dealing damage where X is equal to the descent counter. So more kind of giving out artifacts here. And then we want to untap Kibo. So a lot of these other strategies require some build-up, but we can untap Kibo before that to give 2 bananas or 3 bananas. So Clock of Omens is pretty solid because you could tap 2 untap artifacts to untap 1. So we do have ways of turning Kibo into an artifact, I believe. And if not, then you're just kind of untapping these other ones with Puppet Strings and Patriarch Seal. So you can get repeatable untaps on Kibo. Quirion Ranger and Scrib Ranger let you do it at the cost of returning a forest to your hand, and then Ornamental Courage and Stony Strength are spells that would give him a counter or a boost, and then they let you untap Kibo. And then other good stuff in the deck, so Xenagos can boost a single creature equal to that creature's power. Vigor's playing into this +1 counter synergy, so if people are going to block your monkeys, they're going to get even bigger. Champion of Lambhold is going to make them unblockable based on what their power is. Throne of Geth is letting you proliferate alpha sacking an artifact, so you get double benefit. Hardened Scales is doubling up the counters. And then we've got Mass Removal with Blasphemous Act and Chain Reaction, which your monkeys and apes will probably survive because they're going to be so big. And then Wild Magic Surge and Chaos Warp are targeted removal. And then the draw on the deck, so Shamanic Revelations letting you draw for every monkey that's out. Return of the Wild Speaker can make them bigger or draw equal to the greatest power, which will be pretty high. Hunter's Insight's the same thing, but it's at combat damage. Beast Whisperer's getting you draws off of casts. And then we have additional treasures here that we can make with Pirate's Pillage, Big Score, and Unexpected Windfall. And then our ramp in the deck, so going back to the Clock of Omens combo, you can use Liquid Metal Torque or Liquid Metal Coating to turn Kibo into an artifact and then untap him. Solrine and Gruul Signet are our other rocks. Inspired Statuary says that non-artifact spells you have improvise, so all of these monkeys and spells will cost 1 less based on however many artifacts you tap, so you can tap your bananas to kind of cast spells. And then Nature's Lore, Cultivate, and Explore are all getting you lands out of the deck or letting you play an additional one for turn with Explore. And with that, our show has come to an end. Thank you so much for watching our video. And if you enjoyed that video, feel free to share it out with any friends who might find value in it as well. Thank you so much for stopping by. We hope to see you again soon. Have a good one.